Buffies might be worse than Power 12. Literally, the only good part about Buffies is that the brawlers that do get Buffies are getting reworks, which is fine, except it feels really scummy. It's like, oh, you want reworks to brawlers that are simple and aren't performing well? Fine then, let us add Power 12 worth of progression to every brawler in the game, and only then will you get a rework. By the way, you have to gamble to get them. And they're worse than Power 12 because it's not just a straight up stat boost, but fundamentally changes the working of the gadgets, star powers, and hyperchargers. And if you decide to make one of them broken, you don't have a choice but to use all your resources on gambling just to get that one broken Buffy. You don't get to choose which Buffy you want. Oh, and for whatever reason, for all the footage they show in this Brawl Talk, all brawlers have an increased max HP by like 500. What is going on? Let the rant begin. Like, oh, you had a PowerPoint shortage? Fuck off, give us 2,000 PowerPoints and 1,000 coins for a single Buffy. Oh, by the way, there's 3 for each brawlers, so you have to spend 6,000 PowerPoints and 3,000 coins more, which is basically Power 12 but worse, because this isn't a stat boost. It fundamentally changes how all aspects of a brawler work, just locked behind a massive progression wall. And God forbid you didn't already have a maxed out account, because now you have to worry about not only getting Power 11, not only getting 2 gadgets and star powers, but also getting 2 gears and also 3 Buffies worth 6,000 PowerPoints. I can't say this enough. And you have to gamble to get it. A fucking claw machine. Bro, the meta was only just now starting to get a bit chill, with hypers being a lot less toxic and a few completely OP brawlers. You have no idea how much I was praying they don't add something completely game changing and progression needy as this. But here we are. It's almost like they don't know how to make major changes to the game without adding massive amounts of progression requirements. Okay, you know what? Fine. Maybe this would all be worth it if the brawler reworks are good. They're not good, bro. They're not good. With Shelly, you will already notice normally you need to press the gadget and then use your main attack to aim your gadget. When you do this, there's a gadget marker for that duration above your head, which in the Brawl Talk is missing. This means you need to now aim using the gadget button. So God forbid you use the claw setup for gadgets. No more aiming for you. Literally, why, bro? Why? Oh, and also, if you hit an enemy, they get slowed, which means they're basically dead because they aren't dodging your clay pigeon shots after you get slowed. The other gadget actually is decent since you can use it to tank anything like a max. But here's the thing, right? These changes should be part of the base gadgets and should not cost 2,000 gold. Cold Silver Bullet now just does more damage and moves faster. How does this make things any more mechanically different? And now his second gadget shoots 2 shots that slows enemies, which is something because Colt's main use is a damage dealer and is only viable in like heist, mainly because of the double reload gadget. And now that it's completely gone, oh, and with the Buffy, all it does is steal another ammo from the enemy, which again, you don't have anything to do mechanically extra other than just, hitting your shots. Slick Boots now makes Colt move faster if he hits his shots. Like, okay, again, how does that make things any more complex or mechanically different? You want to hit your shots with Colt regardless of whether you get a speed boost or not. Magnum Special, like you want to maintain a distance from the enemy either way. So the fact that you do more damage at range doesn't really change the way you play Colt. His Hyper Buffy just makes hitting his main attack shots easier. Again, doesn't really change the way you play Colt, it's just a straight up buff to his mechanics. They call all of this as reworks, but it barely changes the way you fundamentally play Colt, other than the fact that you won't even really be using him in Heist anymore, because Speed Loader is gone. Again, I think all of these changes need to be parts of Colt's base kit, not paywalled behind 6,000. Like seriously, these buffs to Colt and Shelly's hypercharges are quite important and very impactful, but you need to spend so much progression to obtain them, bro. Spike's first gadget now throws a wave of needles, and if you hit at least 3 of them, it'll root the enemy. I actually do think this is a good change compared to previously when you would just panic spam your gadget when you're low. We need more changes like this. And again, the rooting part should be part of the base gadget instead of the buff. Fertilizer got a rework where if enemies are taking damage with your super, you heal up, which I don't really like since you usually use your ult when you're behind a wall and you most likely haven't taken damage. Curveball. Bro, they literally nerfed Curveball forever ago and just brought it back as his Buffy. Bro, why? Right, you want us to use 2,000 thousand hypercharged Buffy just has 2 spike explosions now instead of 1. How does this make Spike any more skilled, bro? Except these gadgets, all the other changes are completely passive and do not change the skill expression of Spike. MJ's first gadget also slows enemies. Again, passive change, no skill. Friend Zoner is actually a pretty nice change. Instead of being a 360-degree push, it only pushes away in a specific direction, which is quite nice and useful since it has more range. Both Star Power Buffies and Hyper Buffy again are completely passive abilities that do not change the skill expression of Ems. All things that should arguably be part of her base kit to make her more viable. Frank. I actually love both of Frank's gadget reworks. Makes them more skillful to use. We need more of this. But Frank's Hyper Buffy is going to make him so broken. I can't imagine a full HP Frank also being able to spam attacks so fast. So much skill expression, bro. That was sarcasm. So cringe that it's locked behind a paywall of 2. Mortis's gadget reworks are pretty cool, but I hate that they replace the reload speed gadget with the TP instead of combo spinner. Creepy Harvest, its rework is fine, but again it's a passive change to how it works. Coil Snake damage reduction is cool, but again no change to skill expression. Hyper, nice change. I don't know if Mortis's Hyper needed additional effects because it was already a pretty great Hyper, but here we are because they had to give a hypercharged Buffy quote unquote rework. I know not everything needs a change to skill expression, but so far the majority of it has been against any meaningful change to the skill of using a brawler. We're paying so much progression and still not getting proper reworks of brawlers with simple mechanics as we were promised. Like, it's genuinely so sad. As a dedicated community of players, we have to take such a massive hit to progression just to get reworks to brawlers that really need them, and very scummy from Supercell. And the fact that you don't even get to choose which Buffy you want because it's more exciting to pull from a claw machine is so cringe and such a shitty thing to do. Like, imagine spending a power 10 amount of resources just to get a Buffy you didn't really want. All of this needs to be reverted. I can't stress this enough. We need to push back. Be it the price of Buffies, the fact that you get them all from a claw machine, and the fact that you can equip all 3 of them at the same time. We still have a chance. There's over 2 weeks until this Brawl Pass season ends. There's still time for Supercell to make changes. We need to push back. Like, already most of the Buffies are passive abilities you don't have to think about during the game. But at least if we could equip only one, that's some nice pre-game thinking you might have to do so as to which Buffy might be the most useful for you in a certain matchup. That combined with only being able to buy the Buffy you want instead of a claw machine would make things a lot better. This is the very least they need to do, combined with reducing the prices of Buffies. Also, to counter the insane amount of power points you need for a Buffy, they say they've doubled the number of power points you get when buying. But if you ask me, that doesn't count unless you get an equal amount of coins and power points from a star drop instead of only from paid or gem purchases. Very scummy if they don't change this. Yes, Greedy Cell, you are very fucking greedy for adding something way more game changing than Power 12 and still charging Power 12 levels of progression for it. And after all of that, having the audacity to mention in the first line of your blog post, we aren't adding Power 12, we are so nice, we aren't Greedy Cell. Fuck off. And of course, nowhere do you even mention if we can buy Buffies using gems, which were previously the best offer in the game for progression. This update is so insanely horrible for progression. I want to do a last section just to drive it home even more. Previously, when hypercharges were added, we would get about 3 to 6 per month, aka 15,000 coins, or you could technically translate this to 7.5k power points. This was pretty bad, but kind of offset by the 7x value offers you could use to buy the hypers instead. Now we will get about 2 to 3 Buffies per month, let us assume 2, which means at least 12,000 power points and 6,000 coins worth of progression every single month, which is way worse than hypercharges. Not only are there no gem offers, which already isn't a proper solution, but also you get only like 4,000 power points worth from the free Brawl Pass, and that is if you choose to use the resource keys on PowerPoint, which isn't even enough to get all Buffies for a single brawler. And of course, you don't even get to choose which Buffies you get, which you could at least do with hypercharges. Picking a specific hypercharge that is broken. I'm actually gonna cry, bro. This is so fucking sad. I at least almost have a somewhat maxed out account with the most hypers and gears, but I cannot imagine for people for whom this isn't the case. The game was playable for a single month where hypers weren't all broken and team YP, and the meta was actually kind of fun. And that's all gonna end again in 2 weeks. Look, bro, Don't get the impression I hate this game from this video. I absolutely love it so much. The mechanics, the team play, etc. But this is not it, bro. I'm tired of having to grind for a new thing again and again and again in a never ending cycle. I just want a maxed out account I can use to play the game for fun competitively while knowing I'm on the same level as my opponents and they don't have a huge advantage because they pay a shit ton of money. That's it. Rally. Supercell needs to stop. Are they gonna keep getting away with this?